Good evening. We will go ahead and get started at 6 o'clock. Bishop, would you lead us, please?
Sure, first, Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for once again being able to serve this great city, that your anointing and blessing flow over it. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for being here this evening. Welcome, City Council meeting for March 7th. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Here.
Bolden.
Here.
McCleary.
Here.
Sansing.
Here.
Ray.
Here.
Mashburn. Moss.
Here.
Twitty. Kinman. Raines. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
2 absent, sir.
Okay, we are good to go with the quorum. So before you, you've got the minutes from our February 15th meeting. Be familiarizing yourself with those for next time, and I'll entertain a motion that we adopt the minutes from February 1st meeting. Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by nay? Thank you for that. Consent agenda.
We'll move the consent agenda in entirety.
All right, had that presented to you ahead of time, so we've got a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by nay, please? All right, moving on down, ordinance 1750, amending Jacksonville Municipal Code, redefining and classifying a sexually oriented business. Entertain a motion to place ordinance 1750 on first reading.
Move second.
Motion and a second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Moss.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman.
Ordinance 1750, an ordinance amending Jacksonville Municipal Code 506020, redefining and classifying a sexually oriented business, declaring an emergency, and for other purposes.
Any questions or discussion on that? I believe y'all had the actual proposed changes to that ordinance in your packet. Is there any questions?
No, you good?
Okay,
I think we can read.
all right. Then, with that being said, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1750 on first reading and suspend the rules and place on second reading. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Moss.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1750 on second and suspend the rules in place on third and final reading.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Moss.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 1750 on this date, today's date.
So move second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Moss.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman.
Okay, and entertain a motion to attach the emergency clause.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden.
Aye.
McCleary. Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Moss.
Aye.
Twitty. Kinman.
Okay, thank you very much. Ordinance 1750 is now enacted. Next is ordinance 1751, amending Jacksonville Municipal Code, limiting parking of RVs on commercial property.
Mayor, I'd like to table that if I could, please, and bring it back at another time.
We're gonna pull it instead of table.
Okay.
That would work.
Any objections to removal of this off of tonight's?
No objection.
All right, all in favor of removing, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, some updates for y'all and the public, for our citizens who are watching or will watch after the fact. Adam, Public Works, if you would come up and give us some updates, please.
Be glad to, Mayor. So first thing, RDOT, the 67167 project, That's RDOT project. City has very little involvement, but we do keep in contact with Kip Guthrie. He's a representative of RDOT, and he's the one that sends out the nice, or his group's the one that sends out the nice publications and stuff that we get to show on Facebook. But to kind of go beyond that, I basically went through and asked him some frequently asked questions, or at least some questions I wanted to know the answer to, so I thought I'd share with y'all. First thing I asked is the project on schedule, ahead or behind? He said the project is currently tracking 10% ahead of schedule. So what is the projected completion date? Fall 2027 is his answer. It said the department tracks the potential for early completion, but it would not be published this far in advance, as there are so many things that could happen between now and then. So right now it's currently tracking 10%. If it's in good project, good progress, but they don't want to say anything official at this point. When will the back connection to Walmart be completed? Summer 2024. Wish that would be sooner, but still within this year. Is James Street Bridge on schedule? He said James Street Bridge is currently on schedule. That was the one hard date that they had discussed in a meeting with us. Once James Street Bridge was taken out, they got 1 year to get that back up. So I think it was mid-October when that went down. So they expect October of this year for that to be back up. I said I requested any other specific updates on specific areas would be appreciated. Traffic signals, Gregory Street Bridge, Vandenberg, Marshall intersections. So this is what he offered in response to that. Temporary signals have been placed and installed at Vandenberg, John Harden, with Vandenberg and TP White, and North First Street and North Loop. This will help the traffic move better along these intersections, as the old light timing was not able to be adjusted. So I'll say I haven't heard as many complaints lately. I know that's still a mess over there, but they are aware that it's a mess and are trying to move that as quick as they can. But that's pretty much what I have on that. They do a pretty good job of providing us periodic updates. On our city's JP Wright Loop Railroad overpass, reached out to project manager with Weaver Bailey, Brian Gaines. Said they are anticipating being complete with stage 2. Stage 2 is pretty much the bridge construction. Stage 1 was traffic reroute, temporary stuff. Stage 2 is the bulk of the bridge. Stage 3 is the demolition of the old railroad grade crossing. Anticipate being complete with stage 2 and putting traffic on the new bridge, or the new overpass, on August 6th, 2024. That's his official date. He feels like they're tracking a little bit ahead of that, maybe a month or two. He wouldn't just outright say. We've heard speculation as early as late April, May, but officially August, first part of August, with stage 3 basically being a month behind that at the end of August. Project closeout 1st of September. So that will be nice. There is some money implications when that closeout happens. That's when we can officially request the railroad to give us that $450,000, I think is what it is, that they commit to these projects if we take out an at-grade crossing. So we will get that at the end. The Jacksonville Elementary project, or not project, just the Jacksonville Elementary that was damaged by the tornado. We reached out to John Hatchett with MTech. He was our asbestos abatement consultant when the tornado came through that we got involved on this. At the time, we took bids for asbestos abatement. Of course, that was May 2023, and we were still waiting on FEMA eligibility and a lot of stuff. So I had asked John to reach out to Navajo Environmental, who was the low bidder of that project at $78,710 for the abatement, and see if they would still honor their bid, which is a completely valid request. We certainly can't hold them to that bid, and if they don't wish to honor that, we'll simply rebid it. But John felt like that they would probably honor that bid, provided we don't issue a notice to proceed until they are finish their current project that they're on in El Dorado. I think it's very reasonable if they do come back with that. We expect the formal answer to that question Monday next week. And when we do, we would bring it back before the council to officially, this is the formal recommendation, engaging contracts and so forth and so on. But it was properly procured when it was done. In the meantime, our public works crews, street and sanitation, are continuing with the demo in the haul off of the cafeteria building, which had been previously abated. So we're free and clear to move on that with our own forces. And once the abatement would happen, then we could continue with the remainder of the building. But we can't touch the rest of it really, except debris that's actually blown out in the field until then. Wanted to update you on something. The engineering office is we're soliciting, we're going to be advertising, we're putting out a request for qualifications for an on-call city planner. This will be on-call services, a consultant, not for planning commission items. Myself and Miss Griggs are reasonably comfortable doing the necessary planning and stuff for the planning commission items. However, I've worked with planners in other municipalities I've been involved in. Planners are very knowledgeable in law and procedures relating to codes and updates of various master plans and the proper ways to conduct public hearings and stuff. And I feel it would just be good to have a list of our RFQs, statement of qualifications of qualified planners that we can call on. This doesn't come with a specific project in mind. This could be a various project. Some projects that I've kind of got in my mind that could be used, some things that we have on the books. One, help rewrite conflicting sections of our existing code of ordinances. As we add to the code of ordinances over time, it's a big book. It's a thick book. You can't cover all sections. So as we add to it, there's inevitably going to be sections that are conflict, or in older codes, terminology that's not used anymore, positions that are referenced that aren't necessarily there. It's probably time for some cleanup and some updates on that. There's some things that I would like to see changed, and we've talked about some of them, and I know some of the council members are actively working on those, and that's fantastic. What I hope to bring is this as a resource to you and to my office. I want the council to feel empowered to come up with the main big ticket things, and have trust in a staff that we're technically capable of. Okay, here's what we want to do. Here's the problem. I don't want you to feel like you have to go looking for ordinances and stuff, and you've got someone you can delegate that down to, and we can work together as partnership on that. Anyway, but that's just a resource. Some other things, we need to do an update on our planning area boundary map. When the law changed several years ago that we could plan 5 miles outside to 1 mile, I think there was an ordinance passed simply just stating that our planning jurisdiction shall be 1 mile outside, which that's fine. A lot of cities have done that, except we adjoin, Cabot and Sherwood, and the law dictates in those areas that you can plan up to halfway between the point. Now the thing is, there's areas out there that we really don't have any desire to plan. We should exclude those areas. For example, west of Tupine. That technically, the Rixey Road area, that's technically in our extraterritorial jurisdiction, but we really have no business planning there because we can't provide utilities, and it would be very inconvenient to provide other services, police and fire out there. So I think a revision to our planning boundary just cleans a lot of that up, helps us in the planning office when someone comes in over there, and we really don't need to be touching it. But that is a very formal process to update that. And a city planner that's knowledgeable in that update process, I feel like we could work together. There's various other updates to our various master plans, our street master plan, land use master plan, sidewalk master plan. These are all plans that are referenced in our code of ordinances that is probably 10 plus years since they've really been looked at and considered. Some of them, I can't put my hands on what's definitively the original document because the dates don't match up with what the ordinance says. So I don't know that there's a lot of cleanup there, but certainly, that's just some things that we could. I throw this out there to think if you got anything in mind, like I said, this is would be an on-call position. We take it project by project basis. So hopefully it's a reference for you. The last thing I want to touch base on is the state aid overlay. I think we talked about this a few councils ago. So the state has accepted bids now on the state aid overlay project that we received, and that project came in about $100,000 under the projected budget for what we had outlined. Which means we essentially received $300,000, and we were going to we can match up to $300,000 on top of their $300,000. So we had $600,000 to utilize for the areas that we specified for the state aid project. Well, now we've got an extra $100,000 to play with because we had our $300,000 allocated. I asked if we could change order in additional roads, and he said yes, as long as it was one of the original roads for consideration. And there is one that we'd like to add in that was originally. So that what currently was bid was Northeastern from Foxwood Drive to Madden, Foxwood Drive to Northeastern to Club, Madden from Northeastern to, I guess that would be Foxwood Drive going east, and then South Redmond Road from Dupree Park Drive to the railroad track. The other one that was on the initial list for consideration was J.P. Wright Loop. We took that one out as the first kind of deduction because we wasn't exactly sure when the bridge was going to be. Well, the bridge is going to be complete this year, so we're going to add. I think the portion that we'd probably add would be the southern portion of J.P. Wright Loop, coming from Military back. I think that's in the worst shape, but depending on how far money will go, that would be the section for the state aid we would add to. Now, in addition to that, we are going to advertise for a smaller overlay project that the city will handle. I've got the areas designated right now, and I'm kind of waiting to see if some other projects come to fruition, how much money or how many of these we want to include in our bid packet to include. But ours would be similar to the state aids in that we bid them out now early in the year, get them allocated, and the contractors have pretty much the rest of the year to complete. They kind of work in their own schedule as asphalt comes in. So, but that completes everything I got. I know we got lots of other stuff going on. We got some other sidewalk projects that are in the pipeline that I don't really have an update for right now, but as I get those lined out, I'll come back with an update. But,
Adam, I have a question for you, Adam.
Sure.
Do you have any updates on Brightspeed? How close are they to being finished?
I don't know their completion. I know the last I knew I thought they were pretty much done with their underground portion. They had moved on to their overhead portion. I don't know if they were 100% complete with that or not, but I will try to find out and give you an update. Because I know they're still in the area and they're still trying to get services going and stuff.
And once they have been in your area and they're completely done, it's okay for the citizens to pull the flags out of their yard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If the flags are still there after they they know they've been through, you can pull the flags out anytime. It's up to them to make sure they're supposed to call in those one calls. I mean, like you know, within a couple days of when they're gonna be digging.
Right.
And if they haven't been there within a few days, that's on them to, they call in these to get redone, you know, they'll call in a new ticket to, have it updated, the one call updated. So, yeah, if someone wants to mow, you know, they can mow. I mean, there's no law that says they gotta leave the flags there. I just say be
I
cautious.
get a lot of calls on that. whether or
Yeah,
not they can
and,
pull the
you know,
flags
I
down.
don't guess
Pull them
I'd
down,
ever,
put them right back,
I don't
or-
guess I ever thought about that, but yeah, if they don't want the flags there, tell them to pull them up and it's on Brightspeed. I would say give them at least a couple days of being there, but, you know, beyond that, if they don't see anybody working in their yard, yeah, pull them up. Just don't pull them up and move them. If
Right.
you can pull them up, take them up completely.
Right,
So,
okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
So, I like said that $100,000, you look at my street, I'll be on the other day.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Adam, could I say something?
Absolutely.
You got individual that drives the dump trucks? No, garbage truck?
Yes,
By
sir.
the name of D?
Yes, D. Epting.
Yeah, that young man does an exceptional job. I watched him driving, and when he got up, the machine couldn't even catch it. He got out, moved the cans, make sure they were in line, they got it in. And then he went down the street and was something else, did the same thing. And I personally got out of my vehicle and told him, I said, I'm really impressed with you. Just to sit back and watch you do that, so I salute you.
Well, thank you. D is a good fellow. He's very considerate of his customers, almost too much sometimes. Sometimes we want those customers to learn to put their can with the right place, and you know he kind of spoils them a little
Well, I
bit.
think he considered the houses, the two houses he was in were senior citizens.
Right,
I was
right.
gonna say old people. but
He
it's-
does. We rarely hear any complaints or anything on D's route. D has stepped up. You know, from my understanding, D was at one time in the over the recycle, or you know, worked in the recycle.
Yeah.
And when they asked him to kind of move to you know, the driver, he was real reluctant, real hesitant. But
He's a people person.
he has stepped up and been exceptional this past year, consistent all the way around. It was D's truck that caught fire
Okay.
and burned last year, and you know, and that worried him to death. I said, you didn't cause it to catch fire, man. It you know, it just a luck of the draw, and you know, he did everything right. But yeah, he's an exceptional guy.
Adam, I have a question before you step down.
Yes, sir.
In terms of the project, I know we're having some challenges with the highway department with the project on I-30. Do you know if that's the same company that's doing our construction here?
No, it is not. I'm happy to report. It is not. Weaver Bailey is our contractor. I can't remember the name of that one. You don't have to search too far to find it. Yeah, yes, you're right, because they have went after those guys. You know, I've heard some stories in the Metro Plan meetings on, RDOT's not happy with us. As far as I know, Weaver Bailey has done an exceptional job on this project and other RDOT projects, and our Loop Road project as well. So, yeah, we should not see the same issues, I hope.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam. Doing a good job, man. Thank you.
Update on the upcoming eclipse. Chief, Kevin, y'all come up, please.
We're responsible for the projector. Make it happen.
Yeah.
You gonna give away some free glasses?
Popcorn.
Never asked that before, have you? Free glasses.
Mayor, who would you like to go?
Go
Mine will
ahead,
be,
since
yeah,
you've
mine
seen
should
it there.
be short and sweet. We, Parks Department is gonna have 6 locations set up. We are giving away free glasses. You can pick them up at any Parks location. We will be, and we're setting up tents, selling shirts and just information on where you can eat in town, just information about our town, just kind of a mini visitor center. We will be at Community Center, Dupree Park, Reeds Bridge, the shooting range, Paradise Park, and Pleasure Park. We'll have staff there selling shirts, handing out information, and that's what we've just been pushing. Come to the parks and view the eclipse. Staff will also have just basic first aid kits there, and you know, just more of an informational spot, I guess you would say.
Are you taking volunteers?
Absolutely. For every event we ever do.
Person wants to volunteer, can you tell us how they go about that? Where do they go?
They can call at the community center, talk to Megan, Briley, myself, or Marlo. One of us four can get them signed up. But yes, we are taking volunteers. There'll be portable toilets and trash receptacles and stuff at all those locations, just in case. I mean, you know, if the influx of people is as big as it could be, we want to be prepared. Yes, sir.
So I know we've got a lot of places, Parks and Rec and all that, so would it be a possibility that there would be some other places that people could use if they knew about it, if they were registered to y'all and see or something like, what I'm talking about, like the Chamber building, Fred's building, you know, that's all wide open. And I was talking to the owners and he said, well, you know, that would be fine. I don't know what type of waivers we'd have to have or whatever, but you know, they have all that land there.
And we actually talked about it some, Mike, this week, and as long as they're parking and sticking to the parking plan that the city has already approved, it's not a problem. Yeah, it will not be a problem. We're not advertising any of that just because it's not ours. You know, we're trying to push them. And the people I've talked to that have been through these eclipses before said out-of-towners look for parks.
Yep.
So we're just trying to get the word out there, hey, you know, come to our parks and view it.
I think you're gonna fill them up and there's not gonna be very many places. That's why I was thinking if you had some other areas, you know, like that building up there at Fred's and that, which is Ackman, he said, you know, there'd be plenty of spaces there. And I said, well, we need to make sure, you know, it's private property, but you need to get waivers and figure out what the waiver would be. So that would be something that could be done.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Because you're gonna fill up yours, I can already tell you that, and I'm already saying that.
Right.
So that would just give some people that are coming in for the day or 2 days, you know, they got a lot of these small campers, they would have a place to park them.
We got 60 spots at the range they can rent and camp.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna fill up.
I'd like to, you finish? What I'd like to say concerning that, let's keep it at the designated areas that the police and our EMTs are all covering. We don't want any renegade parking, because renegade parking brings about renegade problems. So we want to make sure that it's a controlled environment.
And I believe Chief Hoffey may address a little bit of that in
Okay.
what he's about to bring forward. Any other questions for Kevin?
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Chief?
A couple days ago, we did a quick rundown of our portion of the incident action plan, and it was kind of piggybacking off of what the county had. And some of the things we talked about were our resources, traffic, air traffic and drones, fuel, communications, weather, EMS, and medical facilities. And I won't read through this whole thing because there's a lot to it, and really y'all don't need to know that. But one of the biggest things is normally when we plan and we get together an incident action plan because a major event is about to happen, we talk about all the resources that we can pull together with our community partners to help us. But this is a little bit different because our community partners are in this the same way we are. So any type of additional resources and mutual aid are going to be slim to none. So our incident action plan had to be tailored to that. So I know when it comes to us, we have additional manpower for 5 straight days. Instead of having 3 advanced life support ambulance services, we will have 4 2 days prior and 4 2 days after, and on the day of we'll have 5 ambulances. Instead of having 2 people on an engine, we're going to have 3. We're going to fully staff the rescue squad. So we are putting things in place to be prepared and to have people where we need them. Of course, the county and the state, they have their assistance programs. They may or may not be able to help us depending on how their resources are extended. The county will have an emergency operations center activated, their EOC, and they will have Little Rock and North Little Rock partners in there. A point of interest too, and most of you probably know this, but it's expected that 1.5 million people from outside the state of Arkansas will visit the viewing area. Another 500,000 that are inside the state but outside the viewing area will enter the viewing area. So we're talking about 2 million extra people, and that equates to about 700,000 vehicles additional on our highways inside the viewing area. So that will pose a bit of a challenge for Jacksonville for whatever our percentage is going to be. It's hard to tell. In the 2007 US eclipse, 30% of sightseers arrived actually on the day of the event, and 80% left immediately after sunlight, which for us is going to be about 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So I think it's beneficial that our schools are closed.
Definitely.
There's also 4 categories that RDOT put out as far as traffic jams, so to speak. Extreme, very high, high and significant, and we are listed as high and significant, mainly concerning Highway 67. So we have no areas in our city that are predicted to be extreme or very high. And where that comes into play is RDOT and I'll let you speak on Highway and State Police, but they're going to put their resources where the extreme areas are labeled according to RDOT. So we won't be expected to see any additional police officers or patrols or people standing by on the highways to assist us. So we'll have to do the best we can. It's been said that RDOT may limit the issuance of oversized permits during that time, and that they will engage with the Arkansas Trucking Association to adjust the trucker schedules if possible to avoid the areas. And do you want to talk any more about the traffic?
No, we don't know what to expect really, so we expect the worst. 167 will have a lot of traffic on it, obviously, if they're out of state, traveling north, even to Missouri, St. Louis and all that. So I'll have officers stationed throughout different areas of the city. Every officer will be working that day. Nobody has a day off. That's not a lot of officers for us right now, but everybody will be working. We have 4 e-bikes. I'll have people at the parks for Kevin's areas for security. The rest of them will be stationed north and east and west of 167, basically, because it's hard for us to get around town with the James Street Bridge taken out. We have to go one end or the other end to get, so we're looking at Highway 161, basically, mainly 167. The construction isn't bad right now. You can get through there, but if there's a car that breaks down, if there's a wreck, fire, whatever, it's going to be hard to get around. So we're planning for congestion in the city, even though I think the problem's going to be 167.
Any questions or comments? Gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
One of the things, pieces of advice that all of those who have encountered this before in different locations and those that know more than we do about this have encouraged, that previous week, go put gas in your car. When you have, an influx of possibly 700,000 additional vehicles coming into an area, take some preemptive measures, go to the grocery store, just have a little bit of extra food and put gas in your car in advance, and, don't wait till, that weekend. So all of our residents could, benefit from that. So and put that out to them. So, but thank you all.
Mayor, I'd ask the chief to bring up a point on something else, if it's okay. Just an update, there's some people that were gonna be online wanting to hear about our sirens were down, over on, the Madden Road by the elementary school with that. And he explained it to me real well, and I tried to explain it to a few gentlemen, but they didn't think I could explain it well enough, so they wouldn't be flying. I said, yeah, I understand that. So it is a importance to that, but it's gonna take a minute.
Sure.
Don't mind you.
So we have 5 sirens. One's off of, we have it listed as Linda Lane, but same area. On Graham Road, Station 2, Station 4 is 161, Harris Road, and Main Street. Now, those sirens are really old, as you know. They are the old Thunderbolt 2 versions, I believe. And in the research that I've done over the past couple of years, it seems like every vendor I talk to, even the ones that sell new sirens, say you should hang on to these sirens as long as you can. It's the old saying, they don't make them like they used to. So when they're working, they work fantastically. The problem is the parts are so antiquated. Sometimes you can look at something and you can kind of rebuild it. Sometimes an electrician can get in there and it's just a loose wire. And sometimes you really have to struggle to find a part for it. We've been pretty successful over the past couple of years with different vendors looking at it. There's one vendor that is a specialist. It wouldn't be fair to name that person now, but that person is in another state, and they have come out and repaired the sirens before. It is possible to get a maintenance contract with a specialized vendor. However, for some reason, I've been having difficulty maintaining contact with this vendor. So I reached out to the county about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I asked what vendor they were using. Turns out it's the same vendor. I don't know what the communication disconnect is. I just need to find out where this primary vendor is and if I can find an alternate vendor to keep these sirens working. And we are going to have to purchase some new sirens in the future. They're not going to last forever. I'm surprised they lasted this long, but they work well when they're working. The one that consistently we have trouble with is the one that you brought up. So we are working on it. Another point of interest too, anybody who's listening, FEMA has a free weather app for any phone. If you have anything more than a flip phone and you can download that app, it works pretty well. It will give you the warning siren. You can set whatever kind of sound you want on your phone and it will tell you. And it's important to remember that these sirens, when they were first made were to warn people that worked outside. Mm-hmm. So now we live in more modern ages where we have a lot of technology, television, cell phones. There's lots of different warning devices. So you could also sign up for anyone who's listening, Code Red. You can get on the city's website. So there are alternate ways to be notified, and they're free. But in the meantime, I will keep working as hard as I can to try to get a hold of that vendor and get an alternate to get that siren working again.
Chief, what's the name of the FEMA app or that you were referencing? Is it just, anybody could just search?
If you
FEMA
search it, you'll
weather?
find it. I don't remember the exact nomenclature, but it does say FEMA.
Okay.
It's a FEMA weather app. Well, the dollar amount could be, I mean, tens of thousands to well over 100,000. It depends on what you're looking for because they're all made so differently. There's a range. Some rotate. Some have multiple cones that go 360. There are so many. You wouldn't believe the options that you have for a siren. I would have to look. I knew that answer 3 years ago when I was in the weeds, but I don't recall. Yeah, but they're all set up for various ranges in what they can do, different capabilities. It's probably going to have to be one at a time unless we can get lucky with a grant.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It'd probably be good to try to find a grant,
Right,
you know, and get a grant writer to do it.
right. So,
Any other questions, comments? All right, thank you. Any new business? Any old business? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All right, motion, we are adjourned, 6:38. Thank y'all very much. Everybody have a good evening.
Well, earlier
Oh, your mom's birthday.
earlier I guessed 25.
Oh. The Military Museum, they're the 16th, I believe.
16.
Practically send you that way, so, hey, so tell me what's going on. I had my 3 month, I mean, how'd they find that? They just scan your body all the time looking at you. No, I think he's taking portions. I got one in my head. There's this one in my head. Look at your head, they're doing it to my head. Hey, darling, right there. Yeah.
Hey, Sister Rod.
Right here.
Did you know about it?
No.
You found it?
No, I don't know, I know it was there.
So how they gonna get that?
They did a biopsy and they had to come back in. But this one, 3 weeks ago, I had this thing, pop up. I was like,
I'm
really?
good. How you doing?
You get married?
What?
When are we gonna get any softball in?
It's just like a guy lied.
When are we gonna get softball in? Game was canceled Tuesday,
Big
game was
Rock.
canceled tonight. They got a tournament Friday and Saturday. I don't think they're gonna make that either. So they played one
One
game.
game, yeah, the girls came in the other night, we were at baseball.
That way
and-
every year.
And they came in and, they were hot, they were like,
That's good where you
Yeah.
got that
and they were
at.
like, they were, why did this game, why did our game get canceled?
Let me know what.
Exactly.
They're cutting it off my
They
back.
said, coach said,
Well, I know I
basically,
work
I guess he got a bunch of rain and their
Yeah,
field
it's
was
squamous.
not ready to play.
That one on your head.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
I'm ready to die, it's
like I said,
okay.
I don't know if they're gonna play tomorrow, cause they got a tournament that's supposed to rain. Yeah.
I'm not at peace, I
I'm
mean,
not
I'm
off,
so
she's got volleyball this weekend.
Every day's a
It's either softball Saturday, volleyball Sunday, or volleyball and volleyball, so we're gonna do volleyball and volleyball.
what was that, you getting married, what was that? Oh. For the most part. No, that's why I'm dressed like this, and that's what I'm mad about. Huh? No, but I'm about ready to start. Because the commission today basically broke the law and skipped us.